Okay, folks, welcome back to another fantastic edition of Opaleye Presents Know Your Pros. And today I have a killer guest. It's Harvey Slater of Harvey Slater Holistic Nutrition and Wellness. He is a holistic nutrition coach who transforms lives through healthier habits. He's based in Pasadena, but lives in Mount Baldy, and he bikes to work. That's miles and miles every day. Harvey is a fitness freak, and I am psyched to have him. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me, Henry. I'm excited to be here.
Well, Harvey, you're a dude who I hope I look like when I am your age. And I know it wasn't always that way for you. From the time you started your business to where you are maybe now. So tell us that origin story. Like, why did you decide to go into business for yourself, specifically in wellness and nutrition?
Right. So, I've actually worked for myself for a really long time. I think it runs in my family. We're not super stoked about people telling us what to do or authority. So I've learned a lot of hard lessons throughout my life, and I've learned how to comply now, especially as a health practitioner. So I've always blazed my own trail for the most part. I always was coming up with ways to make money without having to be employed. And I did have jobs along the way, but by and large, I've worked for myself almost my entire adult life. So my largest self-employment journey or piece was when I used to be in the catering and event planning business in West LA. And I did pretty well with that for about 25 years. One thing I always like to say about working for yourself is that I'd rather be someone who creates a job than takes a job out of the economy, right? So I just like the idea of being self-sufficient, being a productive contributor to the economy, and always knowing that with the skills that I build over the course of a lifetime of working for yourself, you build some pretty awesome survival skills. You just learned how to create business and stuff out of nothing. Basically, you learn how to find and cultivate customers and clients and referral partners and an awesome relationship. So it's just really like that kind of vibe and way of being just really resonates in my court. And so I've always just gone with that. What happened in my catering career was, I'll rewind a little bit. I did have a little phase for a while of, I learned massage therapy. So I'm a certified massage therapist. So I dabbled in what you might call healing arts or helping people with your hands. Did that for a while. It did really well. When I did that, I discovered that I was very good at it. Like I had a lot of really good feedback from clients. And then I went back into the kitchen and worked as a chef for a while. I ended up working for myself. And over the course of the years of being in the catering and event planning business in West LA, I just developed a very unhealthy body and unhealthy mind. I mean, I hope I don't offend any of my food and beverage business friends out there, but it's not exactly a non-toxic environment.
No.
There's a lot of rich food, a lot of alcohol consumption, a lot of waste that goes along with putting on events. I mean, we used to put on huge events, where we would put together a formal dining room on a tent on the beach, and bring in all the food, authentic recipes. We made everything from scratch, researched everything. So it was a pretty cool business to be in. I made a pretty good living, but it really took a toll on me. And when I got to my early 40s, I started to develop very poor health and what I will just characterize as a serious drinking problem. I basically drank alcohol every day for 35 years straight. And it was just part of my lifestyle. It was never really anything that was, how they'd say, well, if it's not disrupting your life, you don't have a problem. Like that's how the average person thinks about it. But it was hurting my health, and it was really slowing me down from becoming the person in the world that I wanted to be. And I started to get very frustrated, and I just hit sort of hit a ceiling with my career and a wall with my health, and started to just evaluate things and started just kind of exploring healthier eating. Started exploring my relationship with alcohol and cutting back on that. And over the course of about 3 or 4 years, I started to show improvements in my health. I learned a little bit more about just healthier recipes and things like that. And then here's the weird side story that people don't know about. So I got involved with this network marketing company that sold nutrition products. And because I was trying to get out of my catering career, I was looking for something that was kind of relevant, that was easy for people to buy. I didn't want to have to sell $50,000 parties anymore. That can be hard. And I got into this thing, and what happened was the business model ended up not being a fit for me, but I ended up learning a lot about nutrition. And then I started this Facebook support group to give sort of recipe support to my product users. And it kind of went viral in the company. So I had all these people from all over the world joining my Facebook group. They were calling me the nutrition guru. And I was like, wait, I'm not a guru. I have actually no idea what I'm doing. I'm just selling some products. So I went out and started learning about nutrition. And on my first holistic nutrition certification, I learned very quickly what real nutrition is all about. I ended up getting out of that business and just kind of started exploring more of my inner nerd and really wanting to find out more about what that was all about. So that's when I really seriously stopped drinking for the most part, and really started eating more healthy. And then when I left my catering business, I had a company car, and I basically gave my company car keys to my business partner and said, we're done. And I walked out and I was like, well, I have to get a car now, but I've always wanted to not have a car in LA. That's always been a thing that I wanted to do. So I said, screw it. I'm just going to ride my bike and take the metro everywhere. So that's what I started doing. So I was car free, and that's what got me on my bicycle. And that really started this whole new crazy harebrained healthy journey that I'm on. And what happened when I stopped drinking a lot was this inner nerd and inner athlete was like just sort of sleeping inside of me. And they just kind of came out and started going, woohoo. And I just started learning a lot about nutrition, a lot about self-care, and just sort of building on my healing process. As my body became well, I added an athletic endeavor, I added more strength, I added another challenge, I added this, I added that. So that's kind of how I became an athlete and how I became a nutrition coach.
Right. I mean, Harvey, you definitely walk the walk and also talk the talk is what I hear a lot of people say about Harvey Slater. Like, you're not just some guy who preaches one thing and then does another thing, which I think is really what it is that sets you apart. But if you could kind of go into that quickly, before we wrap up here, I do want to let our viewers know like what it is that is the difference with Harvey Slater versus anybody else out there apart from what I just mentioned.
Mm-hmm. So what sets me apart is, well, I have about 6 years experience now in my practice, and I've helped up around 600 people. So I have case studies, I have real data. And what I found to make the difference is not that I tell people what to eat. I give people an assessment in the beginning, and I make I actually call it a hypothesis. I listen to the client for 90 minutes. They tell me all about themselves, and I listen for what their goals are, what they're trying to accomplish in their health and wellness, what their bodies are up to, and what their life is like what can they actually accomplish successfully? Because I could tell someone to go do keto, but are they going to pull that off? Is that going to be sustainable? Probably. Actually, the data suggests no, it's not going to happen. So the listening is actually, when people ask me what's your key to success, I always say, 80% listening, 20% talking, right? So do a lot of listening. And then I create an eating hypothesis, which is basically this is how much food I think you should eat. This is how much protein, vegetables, etc. And then we look at what are they most likely to be successful at executing in that plan to move them forward. So it's a coaching process. And then if a client is willing and able to work with me long enough, they end up learning. We use body composition analysis and other data. We use health metrics, but all the metrics we use in here are things that the client has control over changing and affecting. So we use data, and then teach them how to listen to their body intuitively, and we teach them how to eat and respond so that over time they make a connection between what they're doing, how they're behaving, how their body feels, and what the data is telling them. People can actually see their ability to change the data. So it's a client-focused coaching process. It's more of a mentoring process instead of just another person throwing a diet book at you or saying you've got to work harder or you've got to exercise more or whatever.
Right. I mean, to me, Yeah, it's about data, but it's also about like what you choose to do with that data.
Exactly.
Yeah, I talked
Data is
to
helpful. People come in and sometimes they freak out about the InBody machine. It's the body composition analyzer that gives us their weight, and they're like, "I don't want to get on that machine." I'm like, one of my fun things to tell people is we're going to make that machine your bitch, which basically just means we're just going to use it for data. It's just giving you
yeah,
helpful data. Whatever it tells you, you're going to know exactly what to do next because I'm going to make sure you know what to do next, right?
right. So
Yeah.
that's what you're going to get when you talk to Harvey. A helpful mentor and coach throughout this wellness journey that you are attempting to go down. And a lot of people, 600 case studies to be exact, of individuals who have had great experiences with Harvey. So before we let you go, Harvey, where can we find you?
So my website, harveyslater.com, is pretty easy to find. Actually, I'm very Googleable. I can't hide from anyone. You just Google Harvey Slater Nutrition and I'll pop right up. And on my website, you can read about me. You can watch the video testimonials of some clients. You can read of my over like 80 or 90 positive reviews. And then you can book a free coaching call. So there's a little green button at the top right corner. Hit that button, find a date, talk to me on the phone, no strings attached. I have no pressure to sell nutrition coaching to anybody. I want people who are ready to work with me, and that's an opportunity for us to get acquainted and talk about your goals and see what's possible.
Beautiful. Harvey, thank you so much for being a guest here, man. It has been great to talk to you, and we hope to have you back soon.
Thanks, Henry. That was fun.
Know your pros.